Seventh episode of season one of Clone Wars is about ending our adventure of finding R2D2. As mentioned, R2D2 is a droid who is serving under Anakin as his navigator droid, and he was lost on a mission, and then in this episode, Anakin wants to recover him from a secret listening outpost of General Grievous. And in this task, Ahsoka is helping him. This is important to mention that, generally speaking, such mission would be forbidden for a Jedi, but because R2D2 had plans of earlier tactics and of all tactics of Republic missions, it is vital to rescue him. Because in normal circumstances, Anakin was told that, because of course he is a Jedi Knight, and attachment to anything and anyone is forbidden in Jedi Order, it would be for him almost impossible to rescue R2D2 because the Codex forbids it. And in this special situation, Anakin can rescue R2D2. And of course, in this episode, we have the replacement for R2D2, R3, who in this episode we will discover it is a sabotage droid and a spy for General Grievous. It's interesting to see this episode because Ahsoka will be accompanying Anakin, and Anakin mission will be to rescue R2D2, and Ahsoka will be facing General Grievous because Anakin cannot meet General Grievous until after Clone Wars. And this episode is telling us, I think, three important things about our heroes. So first, and maybe the most important, is that Anakin is really attached to his droid, and when he will become Darth Vader, R2D2 and C3PO memory cores would be wiped out, so they can't remember what happened earlier, for example in Clone Wars, or that Anakin Skywalker was their real master. But here, as Anakin Skywalker is still not a Darth Vader, he is a Jedi Knight. R2D2 is his favorite droid and his companion, almost like a friendship, like a bond is between them. Because in earlier episode, Anakin, when he learned that R2D2 is lost, he almost immediately got angry and decided to search for him. So we see here that there is also the connection which we couldn't see earlier, because New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi were directed in the 80s. So we couldn't see this connection between Anakin and his son Luke Skywalker, and this connection is also on the position of these two droids, that they firstly serve Anakin. More specifically, C3PO is serving Padme, and R2D2 is serving, but Padme will be a wife of Anakin. She is actually in Clone Wars, but it is hidden from the public. It is secret, and R2D2 is a navigator pilot for Anakin. And then 30 years later, or 25, this R2D2 will be navigator pilot of Luke Skywalker, and C3PO will be also his companion. So this connection is, I think, for the fans is really important, that there is a connection between Anakin and Luke even on the level of droids. And of course, here we have first major battle between Ahsoka and General Grievous. We see that General Grievous is a droid. He is not a Jedi, a Force sensitive being, so he's only able to perfect his martial arts in lightsabers, and often he uses even 4 or 2 of them. And Ahsoka is. I wouldn't say she's not a match for General Grievous, but she is weaker, and in combat she lost. She had to escape. But here we see that I'm wondering if Ahsoka could use her force to in a way weakened General Grievous, because I see that for the most part Ahsoka almost never uses her Jedi powers. Of course, she's still a Padawan. She's not a fully fledged Jedi Knight. She's a Padawan to Anakin Skywalker, but still, I think that they should underline more Jedi powers to show them to the public. Maybe not this most powerful like lightnings and so on, but still I think that Jedi Knights such as Anakin especially, but also Obi-Wan, should use their powers to do something more than only fighting with their lightsabers, and sometimes they do this, but I think it's too few examples to see that Jedi Knight, it's not only Jedi Knight because he uses a lightsaber and he's fast with it, so he can use it as almost like a blaster for the enemies, but he's also skilled in Jedi powers at his disposals, who are almost, for the races of the galaxy, almost like a magic in this technically very advanced galactic world. And of course, here we have General Grievous, who is a droid, and I always because no, he's not fully a droid. He's like a cyborg more. He was a flesh, a sentient being, but probably he was hurt and he had to transform himself, or he was transformed by the separatists to this cyborg being. But he was probably very famous martial art or just sword able person before he had become General Grievous. And we will see this in later episodes, especially in Layer of General Grievous. And of course, here we have also a duel between R2D2 and R3. R3 is a spy. I don't know how they weren't able to see that he was a spy. I would notice it, not being a Jedi Knight. I would notice that something is wrong with this droid even in earlier episode. But here we have a clear examples that he is a sabotage droid and he is a spy for the separatists. And of course, at the end they duel each other, R2 and R3, and R2 has won. And of course, we see a little scene when R2 is a little bit jealous that Anakin had another navigator droid. So it's silly, but it is also kind of adorable. Yes, that their friendship is real, because Anakin can understand the language, protocol language of R2D2. It's also important. So I would say that every episode, and I will be telling this in each episode when Anakin and Ahsoka are together, it's a really well done companionship between those two. Because here Anakin is this older, more reasonable guy, and Ahsoka is this fast teenage, fast thinking, almost doing things instantly kid. So teenager, of course. So it's really interesting to see because at the end of the Clone Wars, Ahsoka will abandon Jedi Order. So it's really interesting to see this and this bond and this friendship, and because Anakin had never, as even as Darth Vader, I think he never created a bond with anyone. Even his bond with Padme is rather lukewarm. I think it's too basic to be interesting, to be such to be charismatic, so we can be interested in it, in the relation, for example. That because in Revenge of the Sith we see this discovery that Padme discovered, because Obi-Wan discovered that they are married, but also that they will have children, but also this unbelievable shock for Padme that Anakin is turning into the dark side. So the Revenge of the Sith showed us this transformation, this horrific and tragic transformation, but. For the mundane tasks and for the mundane quests and adventures, their relationship between Ahsoka Tano and Anakin Skywalker is really, I think, the best thing which this Clone Wars series gave us. They gave us a very good, almost perfect character of Ahsoka Tano, but because of her relation with Anakin, it's even better now that they are together. They often together fighting and quarrel with each other and so on and so forth. So let me know in the comments what do you think about this episode. It was the 7th episode of season 1, Duel of the Droids.